the show that makes Death Ball look like the second most evil thing to take place in Tokyo-To, Pinball Warrior. In this mode, bingo teams will be pitted against each other using the same bingo board to find out which team can claim the most points within the allotted time. Whichever team gains the most points will be able to claim the title of Pinball Warrior Champion! With ties broken by the fastest team. However, if it were that simple, it wouldn't be Pinball Warrior, now would it? The Bingo Wizards have crafted a diabolical bingo board with a unique gimmick designed to tear down even the most resilient bingo players. In fact, let's have a sneak peek of what we have in store this season. Hey yo, Bats, break it down for these Rudies.
This season we have an otherwise normal board. However, teams can pick a single square they wish to mark before they begin, and from that point onwards they are only allowed to mark squares that are connected to other marked squares in the cardinal directions. Can players efficiently chain their challenges, or will they run back and forth aimlessly?
Alright, my people, it's time for another match of Pinball Warrior!
And hello again, and welcome back to Jet Set Radio Future Bingo Pinball Warrior with Nastrus and Losa, Team Rollberblades. I'm here on comms, and with me is...
It's me.
Twinkachoo.
I figure people know what my voice sounds like at this point.
I'm assuming that you've had your voice on potentially this episode of Bingo just gone. I'm saying as a time traveller.
It's going to be really funny if you're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a wacky starting square. We've got centre floating as our starting square, which gives two directions to go. Both entrance pillar and wall ride to dark, which presumably Losa is going in that direction for that particular reason.
Yeah, I was going to say Nay heading to Dogen is like slightly a concern, but entrance pillar is closer than I thought.
So unfortunately, Nay did pick up that square a bit early. However, Nay stood still until it was valid. So I'm going to let that slide, but you're on thin ice, okay?
Yeah, they could have just stood like a foot in front of the soul instead.
Well, yeah, just accidentally had a bit too much momentum though, I think. It happens.
Yeah.
It's all if it turns out that it gets really, really dicey, then maybe I'll be a bit more mean. But we will find out as this match continues. Two graffiti routes, but one is pre-spraying and one is actually a square that can be done.
Nice, yeah. So starting in a corner and then moving just straight up the column is also interesting here because I would assume that in this challenge you want to maximize the options that you have. But also, their starting place on the route they've taken so far didn't really give them any opportunities to do that anyways.
I mean, the one thing I will say is Shibuya Graffiti right now is pretty smart. Nay is in a position where there isn't much they can do, practically, especially not in the area they were already in. However, it is perfectly legal to pre-spray an area as long as you don't spray all the graffiti and then spray that last spray right at the end when you can actually mark the square. So this is actually a really smart use of time.
Yeah, this is a really interesting strategy. I don't know that doing this would have even occurred to me.
This is one of those like loopholes that I'm like, hell yes, they figured it out. So there's Highway Zero Graffiti, which you'd love to see. We're going to see Nastrus continue marking, spraying. No marking, there's nowhere to mark right now. Graffiti. We're in a weird spot. I say that Shibuya Graffiti would be available if Losa just gets soda. So
yeah, I can only assume that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And this is starting to open up more things for them. Unfortunately, most of the things that get opened up by this row are also in Dark Side, and Losa is the one who has more strict requirements about what he does right now in order to make what Nay is doing count. But as they sort of branch out away from column 1, their options will open up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a big fan of the pre-spraying before it's even available, just because it is something you can do while waiting. I mean, we're going to see Soda completed very, very soon, with Nay still working on the graffiti, so it's not even like Nay's got to wait to do the last spray or anything, unless Nay suddenly teleports around the map and does every single spray.
Which you never know. It's possible.
Yeah, stranger things have happened.
I'm curious about where they're going to go from here, though. That's Soda Race finish.
Yep, and one more spray for Nay, so couldn't be better timing.
Yeah, that worked out really well, actually. That is some excellent routing on their part. So now they have open some more quick things around Benton. Losa presumably is going to go grab under entrance here in Highway 0. Can grab 99th Wall Ride or Jazz on his way out. And then the rest of their options are primarily in Kogane. They could have gone for Hikage Air, but other than that, it's all Kogane area stuff, which is where we see Nei headed now.
Yeah. Which is very good. I mean, it kind of gives Losa a chance to go do a lot of stuff in Dark Side with all the stuff remaining. Special Warrior Alley's been a tricky one throughout this entire kind of season. I mean, spoiler alert, just because of its proximity to Bottom Point Graffiti and 99th Raw Ride, you're not really going to see Shibuya Kobe marked either because it's in the corner. So it's very rare you see kind of a full clear of Highway 0. We're going to see...
the rest of the Highway 0 goals are much closer together, so you can do those kind of at the same time.
Losa got the Fell for It Again award. Warroad to Dark is not dark. Dark. I can't remember what it's called. It's not Dark That Soul. Rename.
Again. 2 is literally capitalized in the square name now.
Yeah, it happens. Fortunately, it's not too difficult to escape this area. Though, I mean, you could just leave Darkside and get the square you were going for anyway. All the way in 45 residential zone, which is interesting. I would have thought just quickly grabbing Rith to free up Light Wall Ride would have been beneficial, but presumably that's going to happen soon regardless.
Especially with Losa there, yeah. Although I guess Nei can now go back to RDH and do that.
Yeah.
The timing probably would have worked out a little better to get Rith first, but I don't think it ultimately matters that much.
Nei spending a bit of time looking like rail floor 1 to 2. Meanwhile, Losa is potentially leaving, potentially going for Light Wall Ride. I can't tell at this stage. Leaving. Okay, so no Light Wall Ride right now. What is there available then? Because we've got Rith is probably the nearest, or Hikage, which would lead into Dogen. And would keep them both in 2 distinct areas of the map.
And would also let them keep a little bit unlocking things or opening up things for each other, although that puts them in another corner again, so it cuts off kind of their access.
Yeah, but that's top of burst. I mean, that's so you can get on the way to Hikage 4 if Losa wishes to do so. Or Dogen, maybe? I'm kind of trying to figure out. Are we seeing a funny little multi-issue? Yeah, we are. None of the sprays, but that's fine. Luckily, they weren't co-oping. We don't need to worry about that. So let's see. We're gonna see Hikage Street Air Force. So a bit of indecision from Losa, but looks like we're back on track. Nei managed to get really far into Kibo really quickly. You love to see it. With Boogie and lower platform under wires both available. Easy squares, easy points. One of which is a bingo. Very, very exciting.
One of them is a bingo and one opens up another graffiti for them to do, potentially. It's one of the faster routes, too.
We may be witnessing Nei getting blinded by a bingo. Boogie has just been ignored, it appears.
No love for Boogie.
Yeah, this is... unorthodox. I mean, they were both available. They were both kind of on the same path, but it would appear that the priority was the bingo and the other square just wasn't seen. Which happens,
Yeah.
even during regular bingo play, there's always just, I didn't realise that was there.
It happens. You hate to see it.
But
That square would have opened up some good options for them.
Yeah.
But
especially
It's not
tragic in Kibo of all places, because there's no way around it. Once you go down that point of no return, it's an entire lap. Even with a stall launch, huge time commitment.
yeah. No, I think once Ney went past Boogie, they'll have better luck going for other things rather than trying to backtrack for it.
Definitely.
They can go into RDH and get Rith, and that gives them just as many new directions they can go in.
Yeah, opens up Light Wall Ride. Don't 100%
Also opens up
available. Right Streets looks like it's going to get got. Here we go. There's the Rith unlock. There's Right of Street coming up. Love to see it. God, Rith unlock. It's still a crazy square to me. I mean, back in the day, it was such a long-winded square, but thanks to multi, you can really just cut down a lot of the just waiting for a cutscene. Kind of unintended benefit of multi, I believe, for bingo purposes.
I won't. I'm not gonna complain about it. It's nice to have.
No, I really want to wait for 30 seconds of cutscenes just so I can get one square.
Yeah, that's what bingo needs. It needs more cutscenes.
True. I mean, I can agree with that. Shockingly.
I figured you might.
Yeah.
We've got Losa picking up the Dogen tape, going for air, which will be a pretty quick unlock.
Not doing any pre-sprays on the way though, which is peculiar, I'll say.
Yeah.
But, to each their own. We're seeing Nationers drop down into light side, presumably to get Light Wall Ride, which we've just seen light up. There we go, there's the collection.
Ney heading out to Benten also gives them the potential option to go for that column 5 bingo with Losa in Dogen and able to quickly grab Shibuya Cubby. Ney can head out to Dino while they're out in this direction, and that would get them some extra points.
Air 3 does completely open up all of Darkside now. All the Ben Tencho is now available on the board. The only area that has a locked off square is Shibuya Cho with Shibuya Cubby.
Yeah.
What a comedy square that has been.
Yeah, the timing would be really unfortunate if they do go for that column 5, because Ney is not even into skyscraper yet.
I'm going for Jazz, which is probably the least valuable square here for. Depends about bottom point catwalk. I mean, that's kind of a dodgy one. It feels like some early decisions were made to focus on particular squares, and that has kind of avoided some critical squares along the path. But at the end of the day, that was the kind of situation that this board was kind of designed to create. So can I really knock that? Not really. This was the intention from the start. The game was rigged from the start.
No way. Yeah, I feel like this routing that we've seen from this team has been a little unconventional compared to just the other games I've seen, but I think it's interesting. I mean, it's working decently well for them. They're doing pretty well on points.
I mean, I think I've said it before, chronologically RL time, maybe not in the order these are watched, but I will say it again. I don't think there is a normal way of doing this board. I think everyone's had different ideas of how to tackle it, and
yeah,
really that's the hope for every pinball. That's not always been what's happened, but that is always the goal, is that there's different ways of tackling the same board. The starting points may have been similar for many of the teams, but they have all had their own distinct playstyle, which I love from a...
That's what makes pinball so fun.
Yes. The best pinballs are the ones where everyone is doing something just a bit differently that you can't really tell what's going to happen next. We're seeing Ney go into...
I know. I mean,
Not
with
Sky
Lissa
Dino,
locked into
not Highway
Dogen
Zero.
Graffiti.
Hmm.
With Lissa locked into Dogen Graffiti, going Sky Dino doesn't make a whole lot of sense with a minute left on the timer.
A minute left. Are we seeing Catwalk PJ Room 3 attempts? I'm saying attempts because
I
loading
really hope
screens
they
are a
going
factor.
for Boogie.
God. I mean, with less than 50 seconds left on the timer, it really is.
would really be
Dogen is going to be Losa's last square, unless Losa finds a wrong warp. And Nay is going to beeline it for bottom point Catwalk PJ Room 3. So I'm just staring intently back and forth, Naestronus and the timer. And I'm going to be honest, it's not looking hopeful. With what, 15 seconds left on the clock, got to still enter the level and then still have to travel. I don't think it's going to happen. Which is a shame. That is a bingo that is lost, and potentially a square that could have been grabbed earlier as well. But that will be time, as both players are in Kogane, and what a good match. I mean, 34 points, not bad at all. Very strong showing, with an unfortunate fall there.
Yeah, there were lots of things about their strategy that surprised me, but it all came together.
And after that spectacular performance, Team Rollberblades shoots all the way up to the top with 34 points. Can any other team match this spectacular performance? Find out next time on Jet Set Radio Future Bingo Pinball Warrior.